Good morning, everyone. I'm Sister Jenna, your host for our new America Meditating segment called Wise-ish. It's your power boost for the morning. It's for you to take your dose for your inner cure. Join us every day, Monday through Friday, from 8:30 a.m. to 8:45 ET. Don't forget, take your dose. See you soon. Hello, everyone. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Good evening. So nice to have you with us tonight on this beautiful day. And just Juneteenth is upon us. And it couldn't be a greater time for us to understand the power of what has happened hundreds of years ago and its magnitude. And to look at us still grappling with the idea of physical freedom, but more than anything else, mental, emotional, and spiritual freedom. If you're joining us for the first time, very warm welcome to our lovely spiritual community. My name is Sister Jenna, and ever so often I do my best to offer some insights in the evening to keep us up, to keep us going. Because with all the vibrations swirling around the atmosphere of such just stuff, just stuff is happening everywhere, that it can take you for a spin, and it can drain so much of your spiritual capacity and spiritual power. And you and I both know when we're out of energy or out of power, we're not always our best. We come from a complete energy of adrenaline, and we tend to make a lot of mistakes as a result of that. But it's always my concern that you're doing okay and you've had a really, really nice day, or you've learned something. So today, I found that I woke up in just this energy, and I wanted to just cook for friends and people. So I just invited, actually, let me reframe that. Antonia had requested pakora. That's really how it started. And when she came by yesterday for us to catch up on some work and discussions, she says, I'll come by for pakora today. And somehow it planted a seed in my consciousness. And I said, okay, if you want to come, I'll have a pakora party for you. So she was all happy, She bought all her cabbage and her bell peppers. And by the time she came with all the food, I had already finished cooking the pakoras. So we made plantain pakora, ripe plantain pakora. And we made cabbage pakora, and I made bell pepper pakora, red and yellow pakoras, and then I made a mushroom vegetable sabzi with bell peppers and cabbage, cooked in coconut oil, and then Santosh made the quinoa, and then I made paneer. So a few friends came by. Judy came by, Marie Flo, Antonia, Sister Durga, who I just loved having her by today. It was such a treat. And Santosh, he was feeling a little down today in the weather in terms of his physical body. So he went to lay down for a little bit, and then I sent him a text, pakora's ready. That boy came up so fast, it was like there was nothing wrong with him. And he heard that pakora was ready and on the table. And another nice scene was Sister Gita's, one of her favorite dishes, pakora. And I make like the best pakora. I mean, really, I make the best pakora. And Sister Gita, very peacefully, sitting to my left, I kept seeing her reaching for more pakoras, more pakoras, more pakoras. And I go, how many pakoras are you going to eat? And she was very peaceful because she didn't want to get any attention from me, because then I would take the pakoras out of her mouth. But she had a nice day, so she enjoyed her pakora. Happy's been a little bit on the kind of sad side because she got her haircut yesterday and she's a little traumatized. She likes to look like a Rasta dog, so now she's all clean cut and conservative looking. She's just a little bit like that. But apart from that, we got a lot done today. And today's a special day. I know we're talking about loneliness and belonging, which is huge. But I wanted to dedicate the first part of our spiritual vaccine hour to the current times. In one way, we are feeling a sense of loneliness, but in another way, we feel a great sense of collective belonging. Whether it's the fact that we don't believe in certain atrocities because of the color of our skin, or because of a pandemic, there is a kind of a belongingness in all of that. But there are some of us that, even if we're in a gathering, we feel lonely. And being together is one of the most primary ways the human being sustains itself. And the more that we can feel a sense of collectivity, it's an energetic pull up, but it depends on the collective energy that you're in. If for whatever reason the energy that you're in with other people is based on thoughts over a long period of time where there's been criticism, defamation, a judgment, then a lot of times when you're in that environment with people, even though you're with them, you feel very alone. Like, I feel by myself because I don't feel the well wishes of the people that are around me. I know I felt it. And at the same token, there are so many people who feel just like you, so there's also a deep sense of belonging. Somewhere in the world, there's another person who feels the same way you do. Research has actually stated that every single person, like, well, let me reframe. 98% of people on the planet have felt, to some extent, some period of loneliness or feeling that they don't belong. Whether when they enter into a new job, whether when they travel to a new country, or they're with family and friends, or they go in an environment that's completely uncommon to them, they don't feel a resonance of the place, they don't feel a history. So imagine how the Africans felt when they came over to America and all these other lands, extricated from their motherland and their cultural heritage, sailing through ships that had inhumane conditions. And I invite you to pause for a little bit and think about what that does to your psyche. At one point you think maybe you're going for some opportunity or you're traveling and something might be different. And I'm not going to talk about the ones who gave them up in Africa. That's a different story, because I don't even think they had any idea of the enormity in the abuse that their own citizens would have endured. I think they were just making a trade, and they had no idea what the consequence of the trade meant. Maybe that's why in so many ways, also as a cultural level, there's been suffering on some level or the other. But that's another session on karma. But to think that, you sail in a ship for so long, there's no bathroom, there's not enough food. The food might be just thrown down at you and you have to find a way to get it. You haven't taken a bath for weeks, months, and then you are put in a position where you're totally, where am I? Just imagine what it would have felt like to finally see light and come out of the bottom of those ships, with the smell, with the urine, with the feces, with the throwing up, with all of that. And you didn't live like that before. You didn't live like that before. And then you're in such an environment and you see different faces, a different color skin, and you're put on display and told to be sold here, sold there, and you have nothing to say. You're numb. You don't know. You don't belong here. You just don't. Imagine the enormous trauma that the soul, at not only a physical, emotional level, but a psychic level that the soul would feel. Absolutely disconnected. No passport, no visa, no way to get back home. You don't even know where you are. You don't even know where you are. And then you're shipped and taken to a particular place, and then you're given some clothes. Maybe they wash you up with a hose, or they tell you to do this and do that, and next thing you know, you're laboring for generations upon generations. And you're watching your daughters or your mothers or your sisters, their dignity being stripped from them. And as a man seeing that and can't do anything, it hits you in a way that words can't describe. So even today when we were having a discussion about Juneteenth, and we're going to dedicate the first part of our program to that, is, don't be caught up in all the narrative of the promotion that's been done about any particular race in history. If you had endured that, and still they rise, and still there are so many souls in African American bodies who stand strong in the world and in this country with integrity and values and morals. Now all of those stories that we watched on television, Good Times, or all this stuff about thug life and criminals and all of this, the 13th Amendment, we all know now, was really man designed to put a particular group of people in incarcerated situations so the industry can keep growing. So in a strange way, even though it was the ending of slavery, it was an emancipation to that, it has still taken time for everyone, black, white, brown, yellow, Republicans or Democrats, to understand what it means for each person on God's planet Earth to walk with their self-esteem, dignity, respect, honor, and worth on the planet. To thrive for excellence is an important thing for all races, not just one. But I ask you to think and to value and understand the strength of the African Americans. And still they rise. Despite what was done hundreds of years, and what continues to be done even till this day. Still they rise. For those of you who don't know much about Juneteenth, I found a nice little animated video to give you a little bit of an education. And then we'll come back, we'll talk a little bit more, because imagine how lonely it was for those amazing, beautiful souls to come over to this land and not feel a belonging, and not really knowing the language or the way to articulate how to navigate through this. They had to learn a different language. Just think about what that was. And still they rise. So let today, Juneteenth, be a special one, whether you're black or white, Republican or Democrat, spiritual or non. I ask you to send your good wishes to your brothers and sisters of the African American descent, and through your mind let them know how much you honor them and recognize their value, their worth, and their contribution. Enjoy this Juneteenth short little animated updated video.
Hey, my name is Jeremiah, and right now I want to teach you a few fun facts about the celebration of an African American holiday called Juneteenth. Starting off, when you look at the history of the United States of America, it wasn't always pretty. That's because people in the United States used to use slaves as labor to build things. But that is where the celebration of Juneteenth comes into play, because it celebrates the end of slavery with the Emancipation Proclamation being signed by President Abraham Lincoln on January 1st in 1863. What this did was it required those states that seceded from the Union, meaning leaving the Union during the Civil War, who held slaves to no longer hold their slaves. Now, even though Abraham Lincoln had signed the Emancipation Proclamation, there weren't a lot of Union soldiers there to enforce the law, and it took a long time for the last of the slaves to hear the news. Eventually the news got there, and that is why back on June 19th in 1865, the Union soldiers, led by Major General Gordon Granger, landed at Galveston, Texas, where the news hit that they had been freed. After hearing the news, Juneteenth began to be celebrated in many different ways, from rodeos to fishing, barbecuing, baseball, dancing, music, and more. Another crazy thing about slavery back in the day was they didn't allow slaves to dress up and wear nice clothes. So, when the news of Juneteenth hit and they began to celebrate, it was always a big thing to go out and be your best dressed on Juneteenth holidays. Now, you heard me mention the word holiday, and actually in Texas, Juneteenth became an official state holiday through the efforts of a man named Al Edwards, an African-American state legislator. Another interesting fact about Juneteenth is it is said that in Texas, when General Granger arrived, Texas still had over 250,000 slaves who had not heard the news that they had been freed. So I guarantee when they heard, it was a big party that day. Well, that is all from me here on Welcome to Fresburg with this Juneteenth cartoon.
Wonderful. So how many of you knew all of that data and information about Juneteenth? Thumbs up. How many have been keeping updated with your information? Just like how the Times are offering us insights into a lot of things that have been shady and behind the scenes in which it's been oppressive on many levels. I'm still thinking about the plight that our immigrants are having at the borders right now. I know we don't hear it in the news, but there are many days that I do emerge and wonder, how are they feeling, and do they feel lonely? Or within the cages that they're placed, is there a sense of belonging? Santosh showed me this very, very funny video of this comedian called Fluffy. And Fluffy was doing a comic skit on Indians. And Fluffy was talking about, have you ever heard an Indian robbing a bank? And, everybody in the audience was like, no man, no bro, that we haven't heard. And he was like, yeah, because Indians are like the nicest people. But also, have you ever seen an Indian having a sign, homeless, please help, on the streets? And they were like, no, you know why? And he says, because Indians are the hardest working people that I know. And I'm a Mexican, and we work hard. And I just thought it was so hilarious. There's just so much. You have to Google it. It was hilarious. I laughed until my stomach was hurting, because he was saying they went to rob a bank, and unfortunately, the people in the bank thought he came as tech support. So even if he took out the weapon to show them, they started to laugh, like, what's wrong with you? Then they were giving him a laptop to help with tech support, and it was just so funny. It's just interesting the way that we have stereotypes ingrained in our consciousness. And again, if we've ingrained in our consciousness a certain stereotype about our African American culture, we might need some re-information here, because it isn't everything that you've seen anymore. The veil has been lifted. The carpet has been uprooted. Everything is being revealed for what it is. So now everyone, black or white, pink or brown, are really awakening now to what is the truth, what is the real deal. And today around lunch I was sharing with everyone, until we begin to recognize that we are souls. The soul has no gender, it has no race, it has no religion, it has no borders, it has no nationality, no language. The soul is pure energy, and it's love, and it's peace, and it's purity. Until we can recognize ourselves as souls, and then stand up for what is right. It's hard to really transmit the kind of energy that's needed. You know, Gandhi stood up for what he thought was right for India in the days. He was assassinated. Martin Luther King stood up for what he knew was right back in the days. He was assassinated. The list goes on. Malcolm X goes on and on and on. Jesus Christ was assassinated. We call it crucifixion, but he was speaking truth to power. He got killed for that. At some point in time, we have to stop feeding this energy of delusion and illusion. At some point in time, we're going to have to find the truth. And the way that we can find the truth is to step inside of our own feelings and see, do my thoughts really connect to the energy of purity and peace, to those qualities and virtues that are God-given? We have to keep checking. It doesn't matter what your color or what your nationality is. Are you at peace with yourself? And are you contented? Because if you could be in the gathering with your home and you don't feel a belonging to your family, you're picking something up, but also the thoughts are not there. I'm having an interpretation about my family, or maybe they have an interpretation about me, or maybe it's both and or. So how do I fix this state of loneliness? I'm going to have to rise above the narrative that I hold in my mind. I need to recreate a special blueprint in the way that I think and see myself. And at the same token, it's going to be important that the house that you're living in, remember the session I gave of the penthouse and the basement? So each time you develop more knowledge, and that's what I love about Raj Yoga meditation, each time you dive more into spiritual wisdom, you rise up to another level. And the way you see yourself and the world around you changes. So you might not fight where there's bloodshed, but you'll fight where there will be peace. You will fight sometimes not physically, but you're fighting with your own inner demons so that you remove all of the wastage of energy that might be in you. That's contributing to the chaos that you're trying to emancipate. So no matter what we go through, sometimes the loneliness becomes an opportunity for us to really look inside of myself to see what's wrong. Am I okay? Am I contented? Am I at peace with myself? Do I feel close enough to God? It becomes sometimes a means for self-reflection and self-enlightenment as well. Right? So let's just finish off with our honoring. And guess what? I was in this video, Black Lives Matter by John Stringer. He's a wonderful activist, poet, entertainer, songwriter. Beautiful, beautiful man. Beautiful man. So myself, Barbara King, Michael Beckwith, Jay Ivy, my brother. I don't know if you're out there watching, but Jay Ivy, Louis Gossett Jr., Elaine Whitefeather, and so many others lend our voice to the poetic lyrics of this track that John had described. So I wanted to just spend this first half hour honoring this particular time that we're in and to connect the spiritual significance of it. Until we rise up spiritually as souls, how can we raise up our culture, our family, our country, our world? Right? So I found this beautiful video on Martin Luther King. So his speech was so profound. He gave you some steps in how to really evolve. Pay attention to that. And right after that, you'll get to see the Black Lives Matter video. And if you want more information, you can go to John Stringer on his Facebook page or YouTube to learn more about the work that he's doing with his family and friends. Enjoy this segment and let it be something to educate you and inspire you and make you feel like you want to be a better person so that you can make America and the world a safe haven for all.
This most important and crucial period of your lives, for what you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. And I want to suggest some of the things that should be in your life's blueprint. Number one, in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance. Secondly, in your life's blueprint, you must have, as a basic principle, the determination to achieve excellence in your various fields of endeavor. You're going to be deciding as the days and the years unfold what you will do in life, what your life's work will be. Once you discover what it will be, set out to do it and to do it well. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are. Finally, in your life's blueprint must be a commitment to the eternal principles of beauty, love, and justice. Well, life for none of us has been a crystal stair, but we must keep moving. We must keep going. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl, but by all means, keep moving.
What if sharing Black Lives Matter was a way to say I love you to the slaves that built this country but would never thank Black Lives Matter?
What if it were a way to say thank you to those that gave their lives?
To bring equality in human relationships, in civil rights, in education,
in economic opportunity.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
What if simply acknowledging that Black Lives Matter was one way to show love?
To the Black ancestors and their descendants, the current generation,
and their descendants, the current generation. Black Lives Matter.
A way to say thank you.
A way to say thank you for being the glorious children of God that you are and have always been. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
What if there were a simple way to support and encourage the descendants of those who were dehumanized, oppressed, demonized, lynched, and murdered just for being black?
And murdered.
Just for being
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
What if it were a way to show unity?
Acknowledging that Black lives deserve the same care and respect as all lives.
Respect as all lives?
Black lives matter.
What if it were a simple way to shift the collective consciousness
of the world by shining a light of love?
And value in something that has been systematically devalued, both consciously and unconsciously. Intentionally and unintentionally. Black lives matter.
What if it were a way to put ointment on a wound
that takes the collective love of humanity to heal? Black lives matter.
What if it was all of this and more, just by you choosing it to be?
In this moment,
That's exactly what it means to me. Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
I was so pleased to work on that project. It really touched my heart very much. Did you all enjoy that? And thumbs up. It's a little bit of a different show today, but I think today warrants that too, because we are integrating both the spiritual and the practical of really the times that we're in, and what is really needed for us to overcome all of this. We've been trying in particular ways for over 400 years, and we're still at a place that is uncomfortable for the human spirit, and we're struggling to get out of it. As people, black or white, brown or yellow, nobody can feel that their conscience is at peace when they see another fellow brother abuse another one just because of the color of the skin. Okay, so I felt that today's show needed to give us that offering of the day, and to send our good wishes to all of our ancestors. I don't care if you're black or white. They are ancestors because they're all God's children. So let's take a few moments of silence right now. Take a deep breath in and out. And just observe what you're feeling after hearing a little bit of the current narrative and reality of what's happening in the United States of America. And the road traveled for hundreds of years, so many generations. And the resilience of souls. And then I believe that we wish that this particular age and period that we're in, it doesn't go to waste. That we become informed, we make sure we are informed. And we tap into the areas that will make a difference. No need for yelling and screaming anymore. We just have to press the right buttons, go to the right places, say the right things, and live with our dignity, and show up with our excellence. Black or white, we have to do it. So we send our loving vibrations to all of our ancestors who've been there and done it. Those who stood strong and who never remained complicit. For those who carry the scar of hate and who themselves have become hateful, send them your wishes. Bless them. Help them up. Let's invite the energy of God to touch the intellects of those that have become so closed and are so focused on their self-interest and not of a society. Send them God's vibrations. God's loving energy will touch their conscience and wake them up from this deep, deep, dark sleep. Breathe in and out. Give your blessings to all. Don't we feel a great sense of belonging in this tribe together? And why do we feel a sense of belonging? We have good wishes for each other. I believe everyone who tunes into Spiritual Vaccine wants the best for everyone on board, but they also want the best for their lives. And it's not just about trying to go out there and save humanity. I've learned on my journey in life, I'm not able to save humanity if I don't even develop the tools required to save myself. I was remembering a story about a preacher who was sent to change the world. And he went out there with the inspiration and the intention to go out and save the world. And nobody would listen to him. So he decided to go to a country, to go and save that country. And he kept preaching, and he preached, and he preached, and he preached, and nobody wanted to change. So he's like, okay, well, forget this country, let me go into one of the states. So he went into the state, and he was preaching the gospel. This is what God says, and this is what we have to do. And nobody was interested. So he decided, well, let me just go to a small little city. I'm sure I'll find a few followers there. He went to a small city. He was preaching and preaching, and he realized nobody was listening. Nobody cared. Nobody was changing. And then in his dismay, and in his absolute frustration and exhaustion of trying to go out there and save the world, the preacher realized the only person I can save and change is myself. So even loneliness becomes a means of helping me to look inside of myself to see what do I need to change. And I think there's a huge community of people belonging right now to this culture of transformation of the self. I mean, I can feel it, I see it, I know it. There's so many people out there that are looking for change. They want to change something deep inside. When we were meeting today at lunch, and I asked everyone, we took a few minutes of meditation and reflection, and I asked everyone, what are you feeling right now? What's calling you? You know, what's really calling you deep inside? And everyone said, I just want something deeper in my being. I really just want to change and be a better person. So if you look at loneliness as being not lonely, but a lone, that I'm getting time to process my thoughts, to try to find that part within me that I can be contented, at peace, then it's actually a gift. But when I start to feel lonely, that means it's like I'm having desires or thoughts for something more than what the destiny or the universe is trying to signal to me. If the universe or the destiny is signaling to me, maybe I haven't loved enough, that I don't have enough people to support or to love me or for me to love, then do something about that. Begin to call people, talk to people. Maybe your loneliness has you reflecting on maybe moments where you've kind of burned your bridges, and you're realizing you should have mended your bridge or built bridges. Then you're like, what do I do? And the only thing that's going to stop you from not wanting to mend your bridge or even try to build new bridges is your ego. So a lot of times what the ego will do, it will try to put you in a corner by yourself. There are peoples with a lot of power, and they're very lonely people. There are a lot of people with a lot of money and power. They hold maybe high positions. Nobody loves them really. Maybe their kids, maybe one or two friends, but if you were to pry into their souls, I bet they'll be feeling very, very lonely. And so they don't feel a sense of belonging. But we really are here to belong to one another. And so even if you end up to be a tribe that feels like I don't belong to anyone, there are tribes of people that have the same feeling. And if you can understand that there's never a reason for you to ever feel lonely. It's just an opportunity for you to do the inner work, to see what bridge do I need to build, what relationship do I need to mend. Let me begin to extend my potential and capacity as a person on the planet and be more of service. The more you give, the more you feel a sense of community and energy and life and vibrancy, you know? So just want to find out how everybody's doing. Feel free if you've got any thoughts, because I could go on, you know. I've been pumped up with Juneteenth today, so I can go on for all night. And I know we can't do it because we only have about 15 minutes left. So anything on your mind, tell me. Are you enjoying the show today? Was it all right? Any questions that's in your heart? The rally show. But Black Lives Matter, hearing everyone echo those words healed an ancestral wound in my soul. I'm so humbled to witness this shift on the planet in my lifetime. My mom marched with MLK, and she has waited for this. That is so beautiful, Raleigh. Nice. Yes, we indeed, respected and treated as equals. Elisa, thanks for joining us. In crazy times like these, we need love and prayer and meditation. Yes, it was a powerful video. They did a great job. Elizabeth Parker, thank you. Om Shanti, yes, we all matter. Yes. And you see, if, you know, there were issues where some people were saying, well, all lives matter, but they won't say Black Lives Matter. And I want to bring some clarity to that. If you ever hear anyone say that to you, you do acknowledge, of course, all lives matter, but if it really did, would the African American race be in the condition and the situation that it's in systemically? So it doesn't matter. So when you emphasize the idea that Black Lives Matter, you're highlighting the fact that you haven't included this energy in all lives matter, and we are saying it's time. We are educated, we are millionaires, billionaires, we've built this country, we have sustained this country, we have contributed to the country, we are a very big part of the country. So we're saying, let's go back to the books, let's go back to these laws. They're no longer just. And that's what Black Lives Matter is about. This is no longer just. We've stayed complicit. My brothers and sisters who are white or brown, they've stayed quiet. They've not known what to do. Now they're standing up and now they're doing something. So to be educated. So when we do say all lives matter, we, in a way, are pushing aside the fact that if it did, there wouldn't be African Americans incarcerated, I don't know how many per minute, every day. And there wouldn't be African Americans being shot who are unarmed by police officers. So it doesn't, because you don't hear these stories and you don't see video footage of officers shooting other races, unarmed people. So again, we want to make sure that we're clear when we say Black Lives Matter. We're really trying to emphasize, look, it's time. It's time we go back to these law books and policies and rules and say something's got to give here. The gig is up. I can see what's going on, and it's no longer valid for the times. Okay, all right, so Vivian moved me, the video moved me. Thank you so much for this MLK video. Yes, it was good. A video I had never seen, and also the video by John Stringer. Beautiful, absolutely exquisite. Thank you so much, museum. Yes, thank you, Vivian. Kristen McCormick, love, 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 absolutely. Sangeeta, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. We're all one. There should never be any discrimination. Exactly, Sangeeta. John V, that was a very touching video. Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, yes. Jennifer Scotland, welcome. Indu, everyone, nice to have you. Rally Show, you spoke to Jay Ivy, that's my brother. He shouted out, superstar. He said to tell you he loves you really, really much. That he really loves you. Yeah, he and Tori are in our hearts. Sister Gita grabbed Tori and went dancing with her in the meditation museum. We still have that video. Tori did not know what to do with Sister Gita when she was dancing. Was it Drake? Santosh, was it Drake, Sister Gita? Sister Gita loves Drake, by the way, everyone. Anyway, that's another story that we have to talk about. But I don't even listen to Drake, and Sister Gita is listening to Drake. I just cracks me up. Anyway, hi Nicole, nice to have you. Rachel, I'm so glad that our stories make you laugh and smile so much. Welcome to the Ponderosa, to the tribe. All right, so Etta, so nice to have you. Warm good evening. All right, anyone has any other stories they'd like to share? Let's see. Nita, nice to have you. Very well said. Vivian, back again. Wow, I love how you clarified that when we say all lives matter in this statement, really true for us, because if it were true, would the lives of blacks be as they are? Such a profound observation. And Jane Huntington, nice to have you. Thank you so much. I particularly appreciated the MLK video. This evening program is very helpful and inspiring. I'm so glad. You know, a lot of times people say, well, we came here for meditation. I go, this is meditation. We're healing old wounds. And we're not paying attention to those old and false narratives anymore. So don't think meditation is just sitting, oming, and being quiet. It is a huge, collection of thoughts, information, knowledge, understanding, sharing, serving to make you whole. Okay? So thank you, because sometimes the ultra spiritual people will say, well, I came here to meditate, and I'm so sorry that they didn't feel that the energy that the show is about meditation. So thank you so much. You appreciated the video. It's been helpful and inspiring. I'm grateful to see the peaceful and so diverse protest. Yes. You know, we did a show with Lynn McTaggart. If you get a chance to go back to that one, it was a few weeks ago. We did a collective intention meditation. The next day, there were peaceful protests. I believe in this collective energy of thinking, and we can talk more about it, but do visit Lynn McTaggart, The Power of Eight. It's a great idea. Great idea. So Samantha, looking forward to the day when we realize that we are all souls. Yes, Samantha. Isn't that true? And we stop attaching race to everything a person does and says. Yep. Jennifer Scotland, hope the information on Juneteenth enlightens someone today. Indeed, Jennifer Scotland. Nicole, such a powerful story of change and awareness. Those of us that are called to a higher consciousness and greater depth of service, our walk is often a lonely one. Black Lives Matter. Thank you, Nicole Jones. That was beautiful. Thank you, Nikhil Kumar. Nice to have you. Thanks for the heart-touching video. Susanna, nice to have you. Good evening. Thank you. So, your best friends, very good to share. Revati, thank you for sharing the gift of the grace. Profound concepts, very good. Yes, Vivian, meditation is healing old wounds. Meditation is a collection of thoughts, understanding unified intent, all to make us whole. Wow, blows me away. Wow, go for it, Vivian, love it. All right, so MLK video, Lydia. I'm not quite sure what are you asking. All right, so Ashley, how you doing? Pastime. Diamond, glad that you love the show. Yeah, I thank you for joining in. Veronica, thank you for joining. Yes, 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 beautiful. Keep going, keep going. Hello, Jacqueline from Ireland. Love to have you. I love me the Irish. Okay, Jasmine Lala. A little unrelated, but talking about loneliness and dreams yesterday. I was wondering what you think about sleep paralysis. I get those often. I see figures. Do you believe in ghosts? I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe that there are subtle energies that tend to kind of be around, energetically. But if I believe in it, I can also manifest that subtle reality. So if there's something recorded in the soul, something recorded in my sanskaras, where in past lives I've delved into either occult power, mysticism, witchcraft, rituals, deep penances. And none of these are negative. Back in the days, people used these things mostly for healing, not for negative things. When people actually started to find out the power of thought or occult power, then they started to abuse it because the ego and the attachment started to get built in their personality. So that's why sometimes people say it's wrong. Now, in terms of ghosts, right now I would recommend we focus on real life people, because, we can't even figure out people, much less to try to figure out ghosts right now. So I would try to reduce my thinking of that. I do know that sometimes when you're dreaming, you get this feeling like you're being held down by an entity of some sort. And that's a stage between the subconscious going into a deep sleep and the conscious trying to be awake. So it's like they're having a struggle. And it happens sometimes in sleep. And usually happens, I believe, when we're really, really mentally exhausted, but we just don't know how to go into that deep place, so our conscious mind is still alert. So just to be mindful of that. I wouldn't serve the energy of ghosts too much. Okay? All right. All right, beautiful. Everyone's having a nice time? Give me some hearts. All right, Portia Davidson. Love you. Wonderful. It was healing for me, Vivian said, to see that sometimes as a black woman, I feel my life does not matter. But in fact, when I hear Black Lives Matter, it reminds me that my life as a black woman matters. You better believe it. And not only has it always mattered, when you put that spiritual potential in that life, then even if an ignorant person comes up and speaks to you because they have the narrative that you're less than, it's hard for their vibration to penetrate you because you're living from your place of dignity and excellence. And people who carry this sense of, I belong wherever I go, I belong here, I belong in America, I belong in this party, I belong everywhere. That I believe we are carrying a very deep sense of ourselves spiritually. So when you carry a deep sense of your spirituality, then it will help you to really protect your energetic field from any negativity that tries to come in. Okay? So the greater the vibration of understanding your depth of your belonging, and that you're not alone, and that you're not the only one in this, you only feel alone because you think you might be the only black woman in that office, because you think you're black. But you have to think, I'm a soul. And yes, I bring this energy, and I bring this culture, and I bring this richness in the office. So even if they're ignorant, you can't shake, because they're not touching your truth. Your truth is, you are a soul. Immortal, eternal, imperishable, pure. How can you touch me? This is who I am, right? All right, please keep teaching concepts that open up our hearts to new ideas. Meditation is a great tool. Thank you, Nicole. Wonderful. Glad you all are liking it. Beautiful, beautiful. Hi, Shobha. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Sangeeta Malhotra. Lots of love back to you, my sweet sister. Big virtual hugs to each of you. Portia, lots of love to you, my dear. All right. Beautiful. I love the sharing that we have in the evenings. It creates a deep sense of intimacy for me. And I think there's something very beautiful about that as well. And magical. Magical. Really, really quite magical. All right. So I think we'll come to a close here. So Mercedes in Peru says, we're in the mountains in Peru enjoying the beautiful meditation with your wonderful program. So much injustice have been done with racism. This is very true, Mercedes. Yes, yes. Very true. I'm with Patty, my sister, listening to you, remembering our time of youth in our baby days. That's so true. Beautiful. Beautiful. Ashley, you're doing well, breathing and being blessed. Beautiful. Keep it up. We got to take care of ourselves. Sometimes it gets a little tricky because the energy, you have to remember, the energy of the world is so heavy that it's trying to pull us into its orbit. Okay, so that's why when we create community, like even what we have here together as our community, we feel refreshed, don't we? Every night when we leave spiritual vaccine hour, don't we kind of walk away feeling like you took a spiritual bath, like you felt a little bit cured, you know, and how powerful that is to inject the soul with divine truth, with sacred truth, with wisdom that comes from source. We need to do that for ourselves. We need to have that level of love and matterness. I love to make up my own words. Matterness in ourselves, okay? All right. Thanks, Sunita, for watching all the way from India, I think. Lots of love. All right, so listen. This week I'm super, super fortunate to be involved with World Unity Week. please go on our website, whether it's on America Meditating or on our Facebook. I think Antonia's updating everything, I think. But we have World Unity Week starting from June 20th to June 27th. And we have Brandy from Zion Earth and Michael Beckwith. They're doing a big event as well in another day. I think tomorrow. It starts, Zion Earth. So that's going to be another big thing that's coming up. We have a lot of different events and programs starting from tomorrow onwards. And so I'd love for you to participate. I'll be with all of you in the evenings. So that'll be a sweet, sweet treat. But also to just remember all these different activities that are taking place. So remember World Unity Week, Zion Earth, and a lot of other things that are on our, I think Antonia can tell me, Facebook page, or I think we'll be putting it on the America Meditating page as well, and Meditation Museum. So please stay tuned. I think they'll be helpful. Of course, they can't beat spiritual vaccine, right? Because this is intimate, but they're very useful. And they're creating a collective, cohesive energy, which is making a difference on the planet. So remember that. All right. Miracle Mary, thank you. I'm painting rocks with my 7-year-old granddaughter. She's listening to you. Love the education on Juneteenth. Your voice is peaceful. Thank you. What's your granddaughter's name, Miracle Mary? Let me say hello. Anyway, it's sending you lots of love, little granddaughter. The fact that you're painting rocks with Grandma, you must be awesome. So Sister Jen is sending you a big love, because I just love 7-year-olds. Okay? So have a lovely, lovely night with Grandma. And keep staying conscious and keep staying awakened. Ask Grandma questions. She can tell you a lot of things that are going on historically of her past. And Grandma can help to tell you how you must stand and show up in the world as a soul who's in the role of a woman, or as a young girl growing up into a woman. She will teach you how to sit, how to walk, how to talk to people, and how to never believe in anyone's negativity against you. All right, so keep listening to Grandma and make sure that you grow into this respectable, profoundly inspiring young lady, so that so many folks can find hope and inspiration. All right? Got it? Okay. Lily. That's a perfect name for you, Lily. Lily, so all of us here on your spiritual vaccine community, everyone send lots of love and inspiration to Lily, that she grows into a model citizen and she shines her light wherever she goes. So Lily, from all of us to you, we're sending you unlimited blessings to stay smart, intelligent, respectful, dignified, safe, and loving. Thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. I had a lovely, lovely evening. Not only was it informative and helpful, but I'm so pleased, my heart feels so pleased to have honored this particular day in the United States of America with dignity, with respect, with purity, with peace, and with all of you. So thanks so much. Feel free to share today's program if you think it'll be useful, especially for the younger generation, for them to see things from maybe a different perspective, okay? Because I think they're kind of way ahead of the game anyway. They're kind of way ahead of the game. All right, so let's close off with a meditation. You know, what if everything was just perfect and we didn't have all these attachments and issues going on? Well, you know, what to say. But anyway, big hug to each and every one of you. Om Shanti. Thank you so much for all of your support, love, and care. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Take care. Om Shanti. As I sit here in quiet reflection, I'm reminded how my thoughts create my reality. I've accepted that I am what I am because of what I think. So what if for this moment I choose to let go of my various attachments to physical forms that have limited my potential and my capacity? What if I chose to be free from limitations of thinking? So just for a little while, I invite you to take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. And imagine for a moment, what if I no longer had an attachment to my name? How would that feel? What if I let go of the awareness of the gender? What if I let go of the roles that I play, the titles that I own? What if I decided to release thinking of myself as a religion, a language, a nationality? What if I choose to just let go of the name, gender, role, title, religion, language, nationality, and let go of the awareness of the body? How would I feel? Who would think of me in this awareness? And who would I think of? I would think of God. And God's remembrance would fall on me. And I, the living soul, would be completely free. Let me just sit in this moment for a little longer and just be free. Now gently bring back the awareness of your gender, language, nationality, title, role, name, religion, whatever. Bring it back to your awareness and see if you can bring the experience of freedom and peace as you go out into the world and play your various parts. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
The global pause caused by the pandemic is uniting the world in new ways. While on the surface, we may seem more separated than ever, this common experience is inviting humanity to see just how connected we truly are. Seizing this moment, we have an opportunity to foster a truly historic movement towards global unity. Can you imagine what it would feel like to shift from me to we? Can you imagine what a more unified world might look like? This is the modern world today, a collection of over 190 nations separated by artificial borders. The diversity of our global family is beautiful, and yet, too often, we have allowed our differences to divide us. Each nation looking out for its own self-interest, often at the expense of another, or worse, at the expense of our planet and all of life. And could it be that during times of greatest tension, we have the biggest opportunity for true unity to emerge? What would it feel like to see ourselves as citizens of the planet first, without losing our national and cultural identities? Are we ready to experience what's possible with a genuine spirit of unity? World Unity Week is convened by over 70 civil society organizations from all over the world. Join us for 8 powerful days of events, performances, and conversations as thousands gather to forge a new path for humanity. You are invited to join or even host sessions. This event isn't the same old sages on a stage, and yes, anyone can host a session. Never underestimate the power of your voice to influence the path of history. Participate by attending live, hosting a session, or becoming a partner. Go to worldunityweek.org now to reserve your spot in the world's biggest conversation as we collectively answer the call and help turn the planet towards a beautiful and vibrant future for all.
Imagine what would happen if the whole world meditated together. Studies confirm that groups who meditate together decrease violence, improve resilience, and raise compassion throughout their community. And we're calling forward over 1 billion people in this crucial moment in history to rise up together. Will we continue to face life with fear and helplessness? Or will we choose this moment to join in meditation and shift our global intention towards healing and compassion together? We're calling forward our worldwide community to join together and raise our collective vibration. Unite, meditate,